Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Navkar Corporation Q4 FY21 earnings conference call hosted by Antique Stock Broking. As a reminder, the lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Prateek Kumar from Antique Stock Broking Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Hello all, good morning. On behalf of Antique Stock Broking, warm welcome to all in the conference call for Navkar Corporation, fourth quarter FY21. This conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company, which are based on facts, beliefs, opinions, and expectations of the company as on date of this call. These statements are not guarantee of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties that are difficult to predict. Now I'll hand over the call to Mr. Anish Maheshwari, CFO Navkar Corporation, for his opening remarks, and then we'll move to Q&A. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Prateek, and I would like to thank first to Antique Capital. Good afternoon, everyone. Warm welcome to everyone present on the call. I have with me Mr. Nitin and Mr. Kunal from my team. As we all are aware that last whole year was having a situation of COVID pandemic. After a span of year, the things are gradually improving and the entire into a new normal with a positive outlook. Throughout the year, we all are affected by this, but we observe the growth in revenues was positive, being engaged in the essential services. In the fourth quarter, the business volumes continued to be a track of growth, and turnover of the company rose from 190.04 crore in third quarter to 213.61 crore in fourth quarter. The factors contributing to growth this year are as follows. In case of ICD PFT, volumes of import container handled increased by 22% from 30,622 TEUs to 37,460 TEUs on QOQ basis, and from 21,513 TEUs on a YOY basis. The same is now up to 74% up. And the volume of exports container over there at the ICD handled increased by 20% from 14,514 TEUs to 17,345 TEUs on QOQ basis, and from 12,378 TEUs on YOY basis. The same is now up by 40%. In case of CFS at Bombay, volume of imports container handle increased by 9% from 29,587 TEUs to 32,388 TEUs on QOQ basis, and from 26,096 TEUs on year-on-year basis. The same is now up by 24%. And volume of exports container handle increased by 18% from 24,412 TEUs to 28,728 TEUs on QOQ basis, and from 33,000 TEUs on YOY basis. This is the same has declined by 15% at Bombay CFS. Number of trains handle increased from 270 in last quarter to 324 at CFS and PFT, and from 613 to 774 at ICD PFT, which is an overall raised by 24% on QOQ basis. Compare the same with the YOY basis. The train handle were 234 in CFS, PFT, 367 in ICD, which is overall raised by 83%. EXIM turnover rose from 144.77 crores to 168.28 crores on QOQ basis, means a raise of 16%. This is a raise by 36% from same quarter by last year, 123.97 crores. Company is committed to the path of growth to expand the client's base in EXIM as well as the domestic turnover. In terms of revenue and business, this quarter was best in the history of company. There were challenges in COVID era, but the performance of company was positive in terms of growth in the company's business volume and revenue. Now coming to the profit figures of the quarter 4 FY 2020. Operating profits of current quarter stand by 68.69 crores in a comparison of 72.73 crores in preceding one, which shows a decline by 6%. This was a slight decline in spite of rise in turnover belongs to the following reasons. Change in the change and commodity mix of cargo handling, leading by the more handling cost in the hands of the company due to the nature of commodities in EXIM volumes as well as the domestic volumes. Increase in MT movement due to EXIM mix of 45 versus 53 to 47.53. Due to COVID pandemic, there was a continuous scarcity of manpower in the areas of operations and labor in the field. Along with that, the fluctuations in diesel prices also played a role in the increase of cost variables. EBITDA margin of current quarter stand of 40.83 crores in a comparison of 46.51 crores in preceding one, which shows a decline of 8.5%. Apart from decline in operating profits, as I mentioned above, the reasons attributed to the fall in EBITDA margins were returning of the debtors amounting of 1.07 crores included in the other expenses. There was belongs to debtors who were unable to pay the storage detention charges due to the COVID pandemic crisis. There was no such impact in the last quarter as well as last year. Booking of notional losses of 2.56 crores as loss on sale of old vehicles. The same is included in the other expenses for the P&L. The depreciation cost of company declined by 1.61 crore in current quarter as compared to that the last one. The reason for such changes was revising the useful life of railway siding at the location of ICD in line with that CFS. Profit before the tax of current quarter at 14.82 crores in a comparison to 18.05 crore of QoQ basis and that of 14.57 crores in a YOY basis. Profit after tax of company stand at 8.15 crore in a comparison to 13.90 crore on QoQ basis and 8.59 crores on a YOY basis. Apart from reasons mentioned above, one more impact was rise in income tax expenses from 4.14 crores to 6.68 on QoQ basis. This includes the change of amount, deferred tax impact due to decline in booking of MAT credit booking by 1.8 crore in a comparison of last quarter due to the decline in gross margins. Now coming to the area borrowings, I would like to state that the borrowings from bank and financial institutions as held by company increased by 63.16 crores from 439.70 crores as on 31st December 2020 to 502 crores as on 31st March 2021. This was due to following events during the quarter. Sale of 103 old trailers which were free from the finance and purchase of our 200 new vehicles, new trailers being financed. Repayment of working capital of 41.42 crores during the quarter. Availment of ECLGS facility of 46.31 crores during the quarter. After analysis of above points, I hereby like to state that the company's performance in growth of revenue was pleasant and the impact of profitability footprint of presence of abnormal items of the expenses in current quarters as discussed so far. I would like to add here one more point. Company was having one investigation from GST department. It was in relations to GSTR filing by the company, and there was a differences made by them, and that was laid by due to the parties were not filing return on time, and because of that we had a liability of 1.8 crore, but out of which almost around 1.05 crores which we had taken credit in this current year. Looking at these situations, this company hopes that the upcoming periods, the impact of growth will be visible not only in the revenue side but also on the profit side. Now we will open the floor for our Q&A sessions.
We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Rishikesh Ahuja from Robo Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Hi, sir. So, sir, I have 3 questions. So, one is you said the EBITDA margin drop. So, as far as I understand, is it a one-time drop?
Yes, sir. It's a one-time loss. 2.56 crore which we sale of assets, we sold around 103 old vehicles from our fleet, which was more than 10 years and above old.
Okay, so when can we, so like we can see the range of 24-26% of margins from next quarter itself?
Yeah, hoping that, sir. Because these kind of losses were very abnormal. So that's why if you see my operating level profit was on the same line.
Okay, sir. And my second question is, sir, what is the strategy for the Mumbai operations now?
So there is a decline in exports at Mumbai operations, but we are looking at some more revenues on a domestic side. So in last quarter also, if you were there on a call, but I just wanted to tell you again, we are exploring some domestic movement over there in the Maharashtra region, and somewhere we got a certain success. That's the reason our movement, if you see on the revenue side, is on a higher side comparative to last quarter.
Okay, and we have done like 55,000 TEUs in Vapi this quarter. So can we say that, like, is it fair to assume that this will continue for the next 4 quarters, 55?
Yes, sir. We are trying to reach over there by the situation is now this quarter. I think so after COVID pandemic, that is for sure. So many parties were having a belief on us on the services side, and that we are gaining from Vapi as well as the Mumbai region.
Okay. And my last question, sir, could you please share an outlook on debt?
So basically, last year also on the last quarter, I told and gave the guideline about the 200 new vehicle purchases. But right now, there is no such further asset would like to be involved. One, I just wanted to add over here, as you asking me, like before last year, we take 2 trains for our operations. Now we are having a train option on the higher side. So in that front, we can add around 4 trains in next coming year, and then maybe the trains will be having a process of 1 year. Further to that, there is no such asset we were looking for, and we don't want to take further loan on that.
Okay, so sir, how are you planning to reduce your debt? Like, what levels will you be paying this year?
So basically, this year we have around 100 crore plus repayment, and next year also the same repayment we have. After 2 years, I think so, we were having a repayment of 60 to 70 crore rupees per annum. Next 4 to 5 years, we are maximum that level will be getting down.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, please press star and 1 now. The next question is from the line of Nagraj, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, can you just highlight something about your land sale which you wanted to do, and it is not happening for the past 3-4 years?
In past 2 years, we were having 2 in that land. One was in relation to the warehousing or storage we'd like to make over there. First, second was sale of land, which we have a land and idle over there at our CFS, which is 45 acres. But in this current situation, we won't get a price in line with which we required, first. And secondly, there is no such interest to buy the land from any of the market players who are in the real estate. So still that option is available to so many parties. We were approaching to JLL, we were approaching in past to NRO for various things. But since last pandemic, 1 year plus, there is no such discussion on that land.
Okay, and is there any documentation problem with respect to land? That's what some rumors are there in the market. The documents are not clear. That's why Navkar is not able to sell the land.
No, sir. That is not at all a point, because my entire land, if there is any kind of a discrepancy on land documents, that should be in my DRHP or the prospectus also. So there is no land-related issues for documents. There is a real price buyer should be there, which is not we are getting yet.
Are you expecting to sell anything this year or this year, land?
Practically not, because there is no such movement in this year from the real estate side with the price. If we will provide any kind of a 40-50% discount, there may be such situations will be arise. But we are not having that kind of movement in this area we had seen yet.
Okay, my next question is, when are you shifting to reduction in taxation? Shifting to next plan for reduction of taxation.
So tax we have for Vapi, we have this last year. This is the last year for Vapi. From this year, next year onwards, we will be taking a benefit of ATI.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vikram Vilas Suryavanshi from Phillip Capital India Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Hi, sir. Sir, how was the performance of Valvada Ahmedabad ICD?
So Valvada ICD is not having such performance yet because we did take last year Valvada and we are now just taking around 500 plus containers over there, so which we include in our Vapi ICD volumes.
Okay.
So Valvada ICD would like to trace the Hazira and Mundra port, but we won't get that kind of a volumes over there, and we were having the volumes over there at Vapi, our ICD.
Okay. And Vapi volumes are mostly coming to JNPT, or is there any improvement in
The Vapi volumes are mostly coming from JNPT only.
Okay. So Hazira would be how much, or not much now?
It's in the range of 5% actually. Mundra Pipavav is hardly 5%.
Okay. And last quarter, I think we were operating around 12 trains. So is there any change in that, or 12 is the same?
No, sir. In this quarter, particularly, if you'll ask me, we are more focusing on the JNPT port volumes, and in this situation, Vapi clients, whoever would like to be added, they were all added from the JNPT port itself, because they won't got any kind of a services from JNPT port side, from various transporters and all. So that was actual shift, and they got understand whoever is having a strong service base, they will be going with them only. And that is the only reason Vapi business is going arising. If you will see quarter on quarter also, when we started in 2017, the whole year we were having only 40,000 TEUs volume. We are reaching around 55,000 TEUs in a quarter itself. So this is mainly led by JNPT ports itself.
Right. Okay. My question was more about we have owned 2 trains and 10 was leased. So I think the real number is still there. We are operating 12 trains. 10.
Yeah, which is we are totally we are using around today. If you'll ask me, we till March we were having 12 trains in operation, out of which 2 trains which is owned by us, and train tail we were taking on a lease. So with those trains, there were 2 major operations we will handle in the domestic side for SmartCam and ArcelorMittal. So major train operations we did in past was domestic operations.
Okay. And you are planning to add 4 more trains. Will that be we are buying on our own, or that will be on lease basis?
So we are in planning to take our own trains. That's why I told that. It is all based on the financial viability, first thing, and secondly availability of trains with the vendors.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, that was helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. We would request the participants to please press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Sudarshan, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. This is Sudarshan. I have 2 questions. One is about draft containers, which is being right now tested from JNPT to Mehsana. So in this current route, and they said around some 50% more efficiency there in terms of the capacity. So any plans to introduce or handle such containers?
Pardon, I won't got your question actually.
So there is something called as a draft containers. So recently from Mehsana to JNPT, they have tested it, which means like we can support double stack containers on the existing track itself. So something has been tested like this in the JNPT to Mehsana route. So this is the case. Any plans to introduce, because that increases the capacity by approximately 50%. So is it something like we are planning to handle it, any such containers which could improve the operational metrics? So that's one
So
thing.
we are already handling those containers, sir. We have a movement on our lines over there at ICD as well as at Mumbai, as both are CFS and ICD with the PFT. So these kind of containers we are already being handled, and ICD movement which we are doing from port is 100% by rail.
My second question is in terms of the Vapi capacity. And is it something we are having only a linear growth, or are we expecting to add more clients? Because if you see the data, the JNPT data from Jan to March is also very high. So is it something only from the existing clients, or are we planning to add, or are we in the process of adding new clients as well for Vapi?
Yeah, we are adding every day new clients at Vapi. Because as I told you, there are so many issues with the clients on a service basis. So we are new added clients list is very high now, and those are for fixed. It's like we're having a good and big clients. Now we were having a variable clients of 5 containers, 10 containers, 50 containers, 100 containers. So both the clients variably we are coming to us, and that is the reason our operating costs also going high a little bit, because the commodity mix was getting changed. Earlier we were used to do the heavy commodity and paper and pharma. Now everything is in a mix and match. So there are definitely change of clients over there in Vapi.
Is it possible to give month-wise TUs for Jan to March, sir?
Month-wise we were not separating it, but I can give you separately if you call me.
Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you. Only those were 3 questions I had. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We would request the participants to please press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Rishikesh Ahuja from Robo Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. 2 more questions from my side. So the first is the revenue. We have done around 215 crores this quarter. So can I say, is it sustainable for the next year? And is it fair to assume that we can do around 900 crores of revenues in FY22?
This is all depends on after this quarter actually, because this quarter also there is the announcement of a COVID pandemic lockdown, correct? So once we'll be getting the quarter number of June, then after only we can say that will be remain same for quarter and quarter for next couple of quarter or 3-4 quarters, because this is really very early to say. If you see last whole year and compare it to last year's quarter for the same, there were a 155 crores top line versus 213 crores, correct? So there is definitely significant changes in the sales. It is all depends on the new normal policies to be introduced by government. Then it will also depends on the situations of the market. So right now, if you tell me, the parties, whoever is working with me today, they are so much happy with the services, correct? So after 1 or 2 quarters, they may be setting centralization, but at the same time, we will add some more clients. So we are hoping and assuming that will remain same for a couple of quarters, but it will be rightly, I can say after 1 or 2 quarters, that will remain continue or not.
Okay. And
because right now what happens, so many clients who are not getting the good services from the variable counterparts, that's why they are coming to me. If there is a filtration process will be getting from those sides, some clients will be change their policies and going towards the past scenarios. But I can say there might be a percentage of 5 to 10%, but increment side is more than comparative to that.
Okay. And sir, my last question is when do you expect to go back to 30-33% kind of EBITDA margins?
Sir, on that I can give you the guideline whole year we were facing so many challenges on the operating side. The commodity mix, then there were labor issues, then if you see the diesel prices, in last quarter January there was a diesel price of 79 rupees, which was in whole quarter around 88 rupees, correct? So the dynamics are getting changed. There are so many things which is not under our control, correct? So with the looking current situation, I can say they might take another 2 to 3 quarters for getting that range again.
Okay. That was helpful, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one now. The next question is from the line of Prateek Kumar from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. I have a few questions. Firstly, can you just highlight on now how is the competitive intensity at JNPT? So now things related to like direct food deliveries now, like it has broadly settled. So how is the services for ourselves evolved like in past 2 years? How is the services changed versus the PD era which we used to offer, and how is the general competitive intensity at the food?
So basically, Pratik, I just want to give you the specific answers of your questions. Like DPD is a situation which is really impacted badly to the CFS industry, correct? And every CFS were looking on certain different kind of mode of operations. Like somewhere there were changes into the warehousing, and there were certain changes. Like we also changed ourselves to compare the DPD situations. We are also moving into the domestic markets also. So I can say on the food side, the movement will be same. Services wise, like down the line, if you'll see next 1 or 2 years, once the DFCC will be coming into the picture, then again the price war will be again on the railway side, correct? Now that price war is on the road side, on the trucking side, correct? So that is all depending on the situations will be getting changed after the COVID pandemic with the new normal policies and all. What kind of a services people would like to preferably do, and then the normal operations of the laborers and truck drivers will be getting happen. Then we'll got to know how the services will impact to the other businesses. So today, if you ask me with the DPD, the impact is already there, correct? And every CFS is already been impacted. Yeah, I can say certain shift which we are hoping since last 2 or 3 quarters, and which on that due to the lack of services, we got some kind of benefits, as we have a full facility with us. We have a railway tracks, we have a railway facility, we have a warehousing facility. By Vapi, we are giving 100% multimodal solutions to the clients, and that is really help to the client as well as us to moving towards the revenue models.
Okay. Answer on CapEx. CapEx has remained above 100 crore for like since our IPO. In fact, much higher than 100 crore in some of the years. So based on our we are looking to add 4 trains in this year, which would like probably entail 550 to 60 crores. The total CapEx would still exceed 100 crores for this year.
Probably not. I might say by today's condition, if you'll ask me, trains, why I would like to do, Pratik, because the issue is what earlier the train which we got around in 11 to 12 lakh rupees on a lease basis, which is now 20 lakhs, correct? So if you will, in March 2020, we did take 2 trains, which has really helped me in this kind of a situation. And now, after now onwards, if financial capability will remain continue with the company, then only we'll think about take the trains, or it should be giving me the benefit of further business operations. Otherwise, we are not having any kind of a plan to take any kind of a train or asset side.
Okay, and just one question on your domestic operations. For some reason, that number sort of came down in this quarter in terms of revenue.
Slightly, I think so, 40-50 lakh rupees. Due to February was having 28 days.
But generally, business across the economy, macro, etc., sort of accelerated in Q4. So, your exit did accelerate that way.
This year, Pratik, I wanted to interrupt here. This year, it is all everything was abnormally changed. Means in first quarter or last quarter, we were always having good set of numbers. So on revenue side, we have definitely improvement. It was not because of COVID pandemic. It's a general market situations or whatever you can say.
Okay, sir. I'll get back to the queue.
Thank you. We would request the participants to please press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Vishal Doshi from Sunshine PMS. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, Vishal.
Good afternoon, sir.
गुड आफ्टरनून।
सर, हमने मार्केट में से ये कुछ रिमर्स सुनी थी कि नवकर कॉरपोरेशन अपना बिजनेस एक्सपांड कर रहे हैं बॉम्बे या वापी में, और कुछ नया बिजनेस मॉडल शुरू करने वाले हैं। तो सर, इसमें सच्चाई कितनी है?
किस काइंड ऑफ का बिजनेस मॉडल सुना है सर आपने? वापी में तो ऑलरेडी अपन एक्सपांड कर चुके हैं, अपना नोटिफिकेशन ऑलरेडी एक्सटेंड हो चुका है। बॉम्बे में कोई एक्सपांशन आने वाला नहीं है, ये पहले से तय है।
नहीं, चेयरपर्सन की परमिशन से कुछ नया बिजनेस शुरू करने वाले थे, ऐसा हमने सुना था ये क्वार्टर्स में जब रिजल्ट आने वाला था तब।
क्या सुना था सर आपने, बताएंगे वापस?
चेयरपर्सन की परमिशन लेने वाले हैं कुछ नया बिजनेस शुरू करने के लिए, तो वो कुछ क्लेरिफिकेशन चाहिए सर। उसमें कुछ नया बिजनेस शुरू करने वाले हैं या कुछ बिजनेस एक्सपांड करने वाले हैं बॉम्बे में सर?
नया बिजनेस तो हमने ऐसा कुछ सोचा नहीं है। ऐसा कुछ अगर डेवलपमेंट आएगा तो डेफिनेटली विल लेट यू नो द मार्केट, बिकॉज क्या होता है सर, ऐसा कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन विल हैव टू गिव टू द एक्सचेंजेस फर्स्ट, वो और उसके पहले सारा बोर्ड मीटिंग्स होना, वो सब प्रोसेस होता है। ऐसे ही कोई भी बिजनेस में स्विच ओवर नहीं हो सकते, पहला चीज। दूसरा, इन रिलेशन टू बिजनेस, अगर हमारा कोई CFS ICD और डोमेस्टिक रिलेटेड कोई भी बिजनेस है तो वी आर डेफिनेटली, हम लोग रोज कुछ ना कुछ नया कर ही रहे हैं। जैसे डोमेस्टिक ऑपरेशंस में अगर आपने क्या सुना मुझे एग्जैक्टली पता नहीं है, बट मैं आपको इतना बता सकता हूँ
सर, जब रिजल्ट आया फ्राइडे को, उनसे 2 दिन पहले शेयर बाजार के अंदर नवकार कॉर्पोरेशन के रेट बढ़ने लगे थे, भाव बढ़ने लगे थे, और उसके साथ जो डिलीवरी परसेंटेज होती थी वो भी बढ़ने लगी थी। तो हमें कुछ ना कुछ लगता था कि कुछ कंपनी के अंदर कुछ चेंजेस आने वाले हैं, कुछ नया शुरू होने वाला है। इसलिए हमें लगा कि कुछ ना कुछ होने वाला है, क्योंकि डिलीवरी परसेंटेज भी 35-34% और 38-40 लाख जितनी डिलीवरी उतरती थी, इसीलिए हम पूछ रहे हैं सर।
नहीं, आप पूछे तो डेफिनेटली, बट मैं आपको सिर्फ इतना ही कहूँगा कि जो हमारा एग्जिस्टिंग बिजनेस है उसमें हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ नया हम कर ही रहे हैं। लाइक वी आर एक्सप्लोरिंग द बिजनेस इन महाराष्ट्र, एज आई टोल्ड यू। डोमेस्टिक मार्केट में हम लोग पहले जैसे पूना कर रहे थे, अभी हम लोग चालीसगांव देख रहे हैं, उसके बाद में हम भुसावल देख रहे हैं, उसके बाद में हम सूरत राजकोट में काम देख रहे हैं। तो पहले क्या होता था कि हमारा वापी के रीजन के अंदर 200 किलोमीटर की रेंज के अंदर हम लोग टिल सूरत तक जा रहे थे। अभी आगे अहमदाबाद से भी हमको काम मिल रहा है, तो उस लाइन पे तो हम लोग डेफिनेटली रोज कुछ ना कुछ सोच रहे हैं। मार्केट में क्या परसेप्शन लोगों ने लिया होगा, आई डोंट नो, क्या न्यूज़ होगी वो भी मुझे पता नहीं। और आई रियली वांट टू से यू कि शेयर प्राइसेस तो क्या है सर, जब कंपनी अच्छा कर रही थी तभी 13 रुपया था, तो उसका कोई अपन कुछ सोच नहीं सकते हैं कि मार्केट में किस तरीके के परसेप्शन से लोग क्या करते हैं। हाँ, बाकी अगर आप मुझे ये पूछेंगे कि बिजनेस वाइज अभी आप रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ देख ही रहे हैं, एक्सपेंसेस वाइज डेफिनेटली कंपनी को कुछ खर्चे ऐसे आए हैं जो कंपनी को करने पड़े हैं, और आगे की गाइडलाइन भी हमने ऐसी दी है कि लास्ट ईयर भी हमने क्लियर बोला था कि हम लोगों को व्हीकल लेना है, सेकंड क्वार्टर में हमने बता दिया था। वैसे ही अभी ट्रेन का हम लोगों ने अभी तक ऐसा कुछ प्लान किया नहीं है, बट अगर उसकी फिजिकल कॉमर्शियल वाइबिलिटी बैठेगी तो डेफिनेटली हम कुछ करेंगे।
ओके, तो सर ये
बिजनेस का कैसा है विशाल जी, मैं आपको यही कहूँगा कि इस लाइन ऑफ बिजनेस में हम लोग रोज कुछ ना कुछ सोच ही रहे हैं, रोज कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा इंप्रूवमेंट करने की सोच रहे हैं क्योंकि सर हमारे पास लैंड है, जगह है, बिजनेस के टूल्स आ रहे हैं, तो रोज दिमाग लगा रहे हैं कि ये बिजनेस कैसे बढ़े और प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी कैसे है। तो रोज कोई ना कोई नए बिजनेस की, इस बिजनेस से रिलेटेड बातें किसी न किसी के साथ होती रहती है।
ओके सर। नहीं सर, जो सेल क्वार्टर टू क्वार्टर बढ़ रहे हैं उसके साथ एक्सपेंस भी बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ रहे हैं, तो हम क्या समझ सकते हैं ये एक्सपेंस ये डेवलपमेंट के हिसाब से बढ़ रहे हैं या एक्सपेंस किस हिसाब से ज़्यादा बढ़ रहे हैं सर? कंपनी की डेवलप ज़्यादा कर रही है बिजनेस में, इसीलिए एक्सपेंस ज़्यादा बढ़ रहे हैं?
सर रेवेन्यू साइड तो आप खुद देख रहे हैं कंपनी में ग्रोथ है, और ऑपरेशन साइड में जो लॉसेस भी कंपनी को आए हैं तो वो कुछ ना कुछ वजह है, और वो हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि उसको कैसे इम्प्रूव करें। बाकी अदरवाइज तो क्या है सर, अभी इस कंडीशन में जहाँ मार्केट में सबकी हालत ख़राब है वहाँ पे आई कैन से यू सर, अभी भी हमारे पास में जो 1 अप्रैल 2020 को जितनी स्ट्रेंथ थी उससे 100 लोग बढ़ाए ही है हमने, घटाए नहीं है।
100%। और सर जो डीजल प्राइसेस और पेट्रोल के दाम बढ़ रहे हैं, तो आपके जो कस्टमर हैं उससे आपने फॉरवर्ड किया हुआ है या अभी नहीं किया हुआ?
सर हमने किया है डेफिनेटली। डीजल हम लोगों का जो भी हमारा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है उसमें पॉलिसी हम लोग ड्राइव करते हैं, और लगभग 75 to 80% लोग मान भी जाते हैं, क्योंकि क्या है डीजल का प्राइसेस आप देखो आज से 1 साल पहले 62-63 रुपीज़ हुआ करता था, अभी वो 90 तक पहुंच गया, करेक्ट। तो वो सारा अगर हम लोग हमारे ऊपर बर्डन लेने लग जाएंगे तो ये प्रॉफिट भी हमारा हिट हो जाएगा। तो कई केसेस में हम लोग पास ऑन कर देते हैं, बहुत ही कम केसेस ऐसे रहते हैं जिसमें पहले हम लोग पास ऑन नहीं कर पा रहे थे, लेकिन अब क्या हो गया है अब इतना ज़्यादा फ्लक्चुएशन हो गया है कि हम पार्टी से बात करने से पहले डीलिंग करके ही बात करते हैं, तो 75-80% पार्टीज के साथ में पास ऑन हो जाता है। कुछ 20-25% पार्टीज ऐसी रहती है जिनको अपन पास, जैसे नया आ गया, अब नए में हमने उसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कुछ किया हुआ होगा और उसके बाद में डीजल प्राइस बढ़ गई, तो अचानक से तो कोई बढ़ा के देगा नहीं ना मुझे।
नहीं 100%।
तो उतना जरूर फर्क पड़ा है, विच इज़ वेरी नॉमिनल आई है, मतलब बट इम्पैक्ट होता है डेफिनेटली, बट हम पास ऑन करते हैं।
ओके सर, अब लास्ट क्वेश्चन, जो वापी में टैक्स बेनिफिट मिलने वाला था, वो सब कौन से क्वार्टर से शुरू होने वाला है?
वो नेक्स्ट ईयर से शुरू करेंगे सर।
नेक्स्ट ईयर, ये ईयर से नहीं?
उसका 15 साल का ब्रैकेट रहता है, 15 साल में से कोई भी 10 साल आप ले सकते हो। दिस ईयर वी आर नॉट टेकिंग दैट बेनिफिट, फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट ईयर ऑनवर्ड्स विल बी टेकिंग दैट बेनिफिट।
और कितना टैक्स कितना रहता है सर वापी में अभी?
वापी में ही बिजनेस अभी मेरा 60% बिजनेस वापी से ही आ रहा है, तो अगर आप देखेंगे तो मेरा टैक्स भी 60% वापी से ही है।
ओके ओके सर, थैंक्स अ लॉट सर।
थैंक यू सर।
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one now. The next question is from the line of Suraj, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi. Just want to check, if we remove the one-offs which have happened this month, this quarter, what would be the EBITDA margins after removing those one-offs?
EBITDA margins?
Yeah. After removing the one-offs, like the bad debts and the sale of, the trucks that you talked about.
Which is almost in the range of 26-27%. Which is as per the last quarter, it's in the higher side only. 1 or 2% is the higher side. If I'll adjust these kind of abnormal losses.
Okay. So what will be the exact number, Nish, if you could mention that? You said 27%, but that's same as last quarter. Or you're saying it should be 29%?
The last quarter, if you see, my EBITDA margin was in a range of, I'll just I'll just give you the numbers also.
Right.
Sir, on EBITDA level, I was having 46.51 crores in last quarter, and this quarter was 40.83 crores. And if I'll add this abnormal items, almost in the range of 4.5 crores, so it's in a similar range of 45 crores. So that the decline was 8.5%, which is almost 2% if I'll be taking the exact margins after adjustment of these kind of entries.
Got it. So you're saying 45 crore, but still that'll be lower than last month because this.
Yes, sir. Because there were certain changes of exam mix also I told on the if you see, I'm not putting the exactly diesel prices, but there were challenges from the manpower supply also. So we'll have to be retained with some incentivization, which we did in past quarter also. In entire pandemic situation, we did the same theory with our truck drivers and laborers. So that is major component of our operating cost increments.
Got it. And but how are you able to pass on the cost to the end customer also? Considering that there is
sir, in many of the cases we can pass on the cost because in past 1.5 year we had seen that change of diesel prices and this kind of incentivization is very high. So earlier what happened, sir, so many clients which is regular with me, we were having a change of new rate with the quarterly basis or the half yearly basis or the yearly basis. But now we were having agreements with these kind of customers, and we were having a special clause on that thing. If there is a change of diesel prices and due to that we were having further cost increments, that will be taken care by the client.
Got it. And what about the manpower increase also? That is
also. So this is all depends on the situation, because if there is a specific case, if somebody is coming with the 500 containers of the exports, in that case we can be asked him for the extra labor cost. But if somebody is coming with the 5-10 containers, we can't be changed every time the rates.
Right.
It is all depend on the movement. If there is a bulk movement, definitely will have to be charged extra. But if there is a small movement, short movement, how can we change every time the rate of movement or every time the rate of per due handling?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay. And but how often do you sort of reset these contracts now? Like you mentioned, like earlier used to be quarterly, then before half yearly. But right now, Is it happening on a monthly basis, or how frequently are you sort of resetting these?
Sir, in a larger chunk, if there is operations, if you'll ask me top 20-25 clients, we are revisiting on each and every consignment first thing, and we are revisiting on a monthly basis. But if there are certain small clients or having a 50 containers movement in a month, then we'll have to be think and we'll have to be evaluate on the quarterly basis.
Okay. Another question is that, what is the current debt level that you're having on the book?
So we have a current debt level is in totality is 502 crores.
502 crores. And what will be the cash?
Cash now we have 40 crore plus with us.
Got it. So about 460 crore, 460 crore net debt. Got it. All right. And what do you think is the overall outlook in terms of freight rates? Do you think that that's likely to increase? And with that, do you think our margins will only sort of get better? And do you think also, with the given situation, do you think this manpower issue will sort of continue, or are you seeing sort of inflow of people sort of coming in?
Well, I think so. That will remain continue for 1 or 2 quarters. This quarter will definitely be hit very badly because the second wave of the COVID was very bad for each and every sector as well as the community. In last first one waves, there were no high death rate. But in this second wave, there is a high death rate. Due to that, we were facing so many challenges. So it will remain same for another 1 or 2 quarters, first or second quarter. Then after it should be normalized because government is also having their own capability.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Right. Also, considering you all are big with pharma, are you seeing some traction over there, an increase in rates also with the pharma company?
Sir, there is no such great changes here.
And are we part of the entire vaccine rollout value chain also?
It was very less, sir. It was very less. It was depends on the availability on the vehicle as well as the situation. So we definitely did contributed in that, but there is no such freight changes in these kind of operations.
Okay. And what is the broadly a breakup from industry perspective that we have? Any broad number that you can share from our revenue perspective, which are the biggest end contributors from industry perspective?
Are you talking about the client specific or what?
Yeah. Not client specific, but industry specific. Yeah, industry specific revenue share.
Sir, in imports, we are not tracing any kind of specific commodities because we won't even know the container which we are arriving at our ICD or a CFS, what commodity in that. But yeah, I can say you there is so many things in the commodities, like we are dealing pharma, heavy equipment, steel. Steel is largely chunk for domestic, and then we do have exports of agro commodities.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Anish.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 now. As there are no further questions, I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Maheshwari for closing comments.
Yeah, so thank you so much once again to Antique Capital and Prateek. I would like to thank everyone for joining on the call. I hope we have been able to respond to your queries adequately. And I also would like to say, stay healthy and take your safety first. Thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of Antique Stock Broking, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.